Testing mic. Hi, Hernando. I've muted you, but let me know if you can see me.
Hi there.
There you go.
I can see
Hi.
you.
Okay,
I'm
great.
just trying to set this up as well.
There you go. Okay, and if you want to leave your camera on, that would be awesome. That way we can
do
see
that.
each other.
Just try to put this on my screen on the big one. Just give me a second.
Okay. You got time, no worries.
Do you play music usually, or how does that work?
I don't usually. I haven't on Zoom, but I can if you want me to. What would you like?
I'm sorry. What was that?
I haven't been playing music with the Zoom, but I can if you'd like me to.
Oh no, I can play mine here. It's okay. I just wanted to know. I can mute it and just play my music.
Okay, sure. And we just had another join. Hey there, Ed.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so I think we're just waiting on one more. If you did want to listen to any of my music, the Spotify link is in the email I sent you, but go ahead and play your own, that'd be great.
That's fine, but I don't have Spotify. I try to do it and then it just gives like the playlist is randomized, and also it keeps sending like ads, and it's annoying. So I have Apple Music. I have my own playlist, so that's fine. But thank you. Just
all right.
I'm gonna make a change here, and my husband is gonna join us as well.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. We'll give it a few more minutes while we wait for. We're waiting on one more. Give me just a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I told myself.
Yeah, this is better. 2 more minutes.
And if you see me looking up, guys, it's because I have my computer set up here, but I've also got you mirrored to my TV so I can see you better from up there. So just in case you're wondering.
Yeah, I'm the same. I actually have you like higher up, like the big TV and
yeah.
the camera
So
and the iPad.
it's like we're really together.
Are we in the class?
Yeah. I think her name is Jenny.
Yeah, and I'm subbing for Care this morning too, so she had some work stuff going on into the night, so I'm covering for her.
No, I think this is the first time I try like Black Swan now. I've been there a couple of times in the past, but now I don't really know any instructors, so I'm.
Oh, okay, good.
Opportunity to start getting everyone.
We just had our the last one we were expecting to join, Meredith. Hi, Meredith. You can let me unmute you for a second. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, Meredith, do you want to turn your camera on? It's okay if you don't, but I can see all of you in gallery view. If Up to you.
No, I'd rather not.
Okay, no worries.
You still
That
sound
is
very,
totally fine.
very sleepy.
All right. Well, I think, guys, so let's get started. And again, I was saying, Meredith, I'm covering for Care this morning, and I'm just going to take us through a flow. It's going to be slow, but it might be a little challenging. We're going to start in just laying back. So just lay back. You have a question?
Yes, Jen, should we start the playlist now or?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I'm gonna mute you guys. In fact, let me go ahead and do that right now. I can mute all of you and keep your cameras on. So let me do that.
Okay. Just...
And then you can start your playlist at any time. And we'll get started. Just laying back like you're in Shavasana. So while you're getting settled in there in Shavasana, start to think about the breath and start to think about this feeling awareness that kind of circulates throughout the body. You can think about starting at the big toe meridian and allowing that line of inventory to travel up the back line of the leg. So first you think about the back of the leg, the calf, and then up around the glutes to the mid back, the low back, the lumbar. And then think about that line traveling up between the shoulder blades, along the back of the neck, up around to the third eye chakra. Then as you travel down, think about the throat and the navel, the root chakra on your way down your front line. And then down the front line of the leg, we'll probably be doing a lot of work there for the quads and the glutes today. So think about travel down the front line of the leg. When a lot of these positions going to require you to at least engage the low part of the leg, low quad above the knee. And then let it travel down to back to the big toe. And you can sort of trace that line up and down the body, up the back line, down the front line, as you're sort of building this Ujjayi breath. And that Ujjayi breath can build slowly, right? And it doesn't need to be this full, very manipulated breath at first. You'll know when you need that deep breath when we begin to pair the breath with movement, when we begin to activate the heart rate. So right now, as I said, it's just more of a feeling awareness. And with your next inhale, go ahead and take the arms up overhead and seal the legs together. So you're gonna start to make this long body stretch. And you're gonna reach through the fingertips. And at first, point the toes. You're gonna reach through the toes as well. And then if you're a little open on the back line, you can flex the feet and reach toward the heels, toward the front, fingertips toward the back. And another deep inhale there. And then on the exhale, you're gonna draw the knees into the chest. You one at a time or both together, however you wanna engage the core. But then you just let the low back come and rest to the mat. Just draw the knees into the chest. And for a moment, just kind of take the hands around the front of the knees, fingers to the insides, and just pull the legs apart a bit. And then take the flex out of the toes so that the feet just kind of hang. So you got this long front line from the knee to the toe, but the arms are doing the work and the legs are just relaxed, getting this nice kind of easy, relaxed inner thigh stretch here at the beginning. And then let's bring the knees back together. And kind of like this fireball pose, you sort of reach around deeper if you can, and you're reaching for opposite elbows in front of the shins as you lift the shoulders off the mat. The idea is to guide the nose toward the knees and maybe make contact, nose to knee. And then again, just sort of let the arms peel apart, let the shoulders come back to the mat. If the low back covered off, let the low back rest back down on the floor. And then you're gonna keep that right knee into the chest and just extend the left leg. So you're gonna keep hugging onto the right knee and extend the left leg long. And then first you're gonna take the right knee up and over the left for a twist. And you're gonna send that right arm in the opposite direction to the right. And if you wanna look at that right hand, you can send your gaze in the opposite direction of that right leg. You can roll over on the outside of that left hip a bit, or you can work on keeping the navel straight to the ceiling. And then when you bring that right leg back through center, switch hands. That right arm that was out to the right is going to go to the inside of the right knee and just gently guide it out to the right. And the left hand is going to stay on the left hip to work on keeping the hips square. And like I said, the navel still square to the ceiling. And then when you bring that leg back to center, take the leg and extend it straight up to the ceiling. So that right leg is just going to extend to the ceiling. And you're going to take both arms and you're going to crawl. It's like you're crawling up that right leg just as high as you can. And the leg can come a little bit toward the face. But really, you're working on crawling up as much as you can and engaging the core. So if you can hold that leg in a perpendicular line to the floor and crawl up, that's nice too. More work for the core. And in that position, with that leg raised, just let go of the bind, reach the hands on either side of that right leg just as far as you can go. In the air, just as far as you can go. The right leg is up, chest is up, shoulders up, reaching with the fingertips on either side of that right leg. And let everything down into that long body extension again. That right leg goes down. Hands go all the way back. Feel the core and that stretch. And then draw the left knee into the chest. Keep the right leg long along the floor. Flex through that left foot. And take the outside edge of that left knee with the right hand. Guide that left leg over the right leg. And send your left arm out. Shoulder height like a T. Supine twist. And again, you can roll a little bit over that right knee, or excuse me, right hip. But then you can think about kind of the body always moving in opposite directions, right? So if you roll over that right hip a bit, think about bringing that navel back toward the ceiling. And again, your gaze can be over to that left hand. And then when you bring that leg back to center, bring the head back to center, take the left hand to the inside of the knee and gently guide it out to the left while keeping that right hand on the right hip. One more deep inhale. Exhale there. And then when you bring it back to center, go ahead and extend that leg to the ceiling. And again, warming up the spine, crawl the arms up that left leg. But then keep the leg nice and engaged. Let that leg kind of hold the torso. And just know that in a moment, you're gonna let go of the leg and try to keep the torso in the same position and the leg in the same position. So one more deep inhale. And then release the bind, reach the fingertips to straddle that left leg. Keep holding. And then release again down into that long body stretch. And then curl up again, so take both knees into the chest and reach around in front. Front of the knees on the shin, and then guide the feet down, both feet down to the mat, legs about like hip distance together or hip distance apart or a little bit wider. And then plant the palms on the floor too. We're gonna set up for a bridge pose here. And let's inhale here while we're on the ground. And then exhale and lift into the bridge pose. So come out of the hips, you can roll back on the shoulders. And then slowly release. Draw the knees back in this one. See if you can get the nose to touch the knees. And then another bridge pose. And we'll just cycle through these two postures this time and one more time. Now we're up in the bridge. One more time, come out of the bridge, draw the knees into the chest, guide the nose toward the knees. And then release the feet, release the arms. One more bridge pose, lifting on your next exhale. And in this last one, kind of heel toe the feet closer together, getting the inner thighs closer together, perhaps even all the way together. And press into the feet, engage the glutes, lift even higher if you can. Holding on for one more inhale. And exhale, drop the hips, unwind. And this time when you draw the knees to the chest, and you can even take the hands to the back of the knees, you're just gonna rock the length of the mat a few times to come to balance in a seated position. All right, nice, so you're here, and just let the feet come down. You're just gonna start to bring the torso through. So take the knees into the crease of the elbows for a moment, and just kind of shimmy the torso through. So you're gonna get nice and high on that. Tailbones rotating toward the back wall, and you find length here, navel to pelvic floor. This is the area that's trying to tip forward as you lift the chest and roll the shoulders back. You're trying to find weight in the feet, which is kind of a tough thing to find weight in the feet in this position. And then from here, you're gonna come up into a yogi squat. So if you release and just take one hand back, one hand forward, you can prop yourself up. And if you have to come to the toes, that's fine too. And if you have to, make any adjustments with the feet for nice squats there. Good, so see you guys on the heels. So yeah, part of our flow this morning is gonna be up, down from here. So what you wanna do when you come up is keep the torso connected as much as you can. And you're gonna rise into that forward fold with the connection of the torso to the thigh. So just give that a try, just notice, and if you're gonna take it all the way up to the forward fold, just notice when the torso begins to peel away from the thigh. And when you do, and like these slow squats, right, you want to engage the glutes all the way up and think about driving the knees out all the way up, and you're going to get a little bit more out of the lumbar if you keep that posture when you're all the way up inside your forward fold. And then heel toe the feet all the way together for a moment. Just sort of step back and meet me in a tabletop position. And just to get a little bit of the shoulders here from this tabletop, just sort of walk the hands out. And when you get to a position where you feel a nice stretch in the shoulders, just kind of dip in and out of it. So dip down, press into the palms to lift up, and then dip down and lift up. And keep doing this. Maybe you hold at the bottom of the dip for a moment. When you're pressing up, it's pressing through the palms, trying to keep all the bend out of the elbow when you do. I want to take an inhale on the way down and an exhale when you press up. And as you walk it back into that tabletop, go ahead and get that left hand to the center. So you put the left hand between the legs, the line of the legs go straight to the middle of the legs, reach that right arm up. Just kind of thread it through. We're going to take that shoulder all the way down. And this is nice, you can stay here. Or if you don't need that left hand to balance you on the side of the face, you can sweep it up and around. And the back of the hand can come to the small of the back, or the fingertips might even slide to the inside right thigh. And if you unwind that arm, you'll take it back to the side of the face, press into the mat, come out the way you came in. So you'll reach one more time with that right hand to the sky, and then you'll bring it down, right? And then we switch into the other side, so you'll get that right hand to the center between the legs, lift that left arm up, and then sweep it all the way through. And again, if you want to find a balance here, you can take that right arm up and back. Back of the hand might come to the small of the back, or the fingertips to the inside left thigh. And either way, you kind of want to push that right shoulder out to the right. So you can sort of pulse it out back behind you. And not really to the right, but more behind you. So you can press with the back of the hand to the small of the back to open up the shoulder even more. And then you can take the hand back down to the side of the face. Inhale, extend the left arm up. And bring the left arm back down, meeting me back in the tabletop. You're just gonna open up the hips, so cat-cow, so this is cow, so hips to the ceiling, press into the hands, chest lifts, gaze goes up. And then tuck that also, you're gonna tuck the tailbone, press into the hands, come out of the shoulders. So you're gonna press into the hands here. You really wanna feel the shoulders, top of the shoulder blade, and then guiding down to the tricep. And if you want a little bit more intensity there, you can always walk the fingertips close into the knees and sort of shuffle the weight of the shoulders forward to the fingertips. Little pulses there. And then you can open it back up. A little bit here, we're gonna stay not in the grounded toe, but on the top of the foot. And just inhale and lift the knees slightly. Keep holding. And then while you're here, can you shift everything out of the core. So if you're really engaging the core, can you let the core go and see what happens to the glutes and the thighs as you try to hold the position, just inches off the floor with the knees, really as little as you can, even if it's just an inch. One more deep inhale, and then let it go. And then this next one, so you can do what we just did and just lift the knees slightly, or you can stay on the tops of the feet, take an inhale here, exhale, just lift off, and then send that right leg back for a moment and lift it high. And then bring it back in, just place the top of the foot, left leg goes back, send it straight and as high as you can, and then slowly bring it back in and rest the knees down. Right, and then you're gonna tuck the toes, and we'll come into our first down dog. So gonna walk it out a little bit. So you can come high on the toes and then relax through the ankles and start to drive the heels down. You can take both heels off to the left and get a little bit of a twist, compressing that left side, but finding length in the right side. And you can pass back through the toes off to the other side and take both heels to the right side. And I like this super hamstring stretch where you ground left foot and you cross the right foot back behind the left ankle, just as close to the bottom there as possible, just crossing at the ankle, and press to the hands, push the hips back. And if you unwind there, replacing the right toe down, you can send the left ankle back behind the right ankle. And then back to your down dog. We're gonna come down slowly. It's gonna come down through a variant. So you're gonna come high on the toes. And you're gonna slowly bend through the elbows like you're guiding your nose to the mat. And then maybe you tap the nose down. And then bring the chest down as the next tap. Then bring the hips down to the pelvic floor. Then rise into your cobra. And then take it back. Let's just find a child's pose here. You can ground through the feet and take it wide, or you can just take it right over your bent knees into a closed child's pose. And as you're in that child's pose, you can reach with the fingers. So what I like to do for another little shoulder opener is sort of just grip and release the top of my mat, one hand and then the other. Or grip with the fingertips and let the shoulders relax and fall back. And then you're gonna meet me back in that tabletop, and we'll get up to standing here. So we'll drive into the toes and lift back up into a down dog. And then just travel the feet to the hands in another forward fold at the top of the mat. And then find a flat back. And then exhale and bend deep into that fold. And inhale, rise. And the hands can come to heart center. Nice. And we're going to take a couple half salutations, and then we'll take a full salutation. So on an inhale, bring the arms back up. And exhale, down. Inhale, flatten the back. And look forward. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise all the way up. And hands to heart center. Back inside, one more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And release the arms. We'll do a full this time. Inhale, taking the arms up. Exhale, bringing it down. Inhale, finding your flat back. Taking it back to the plank on the exhale. And if you're going to move through the low plank, it's that same exhale. Inhale, cobra. And a down dog, or you can just meet in the down dog from the plank. Either way. And you're gonna bend in the knees a little bit as you look forward and then take a wide step, or you can even jump feet back to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And release the arms. And then, okay, so we're gonna move into first part of the flow. So standing, keep it at the top of your mat. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, let's take it down. Inhale, flat back. And take it back to your plank. And again, moving through that low plank. Inhale to the cobra. Nice. And back to the down dog. So this time you're going to take that right leg to the sky. And as we do, let's just open up that hip so you'll fold that leg in the air. And then what I want you to do is you're going to, as you come down, it's going to be that right knee. Usually we take that right knee to the outside of the elbow, right? We're doing that variant. But if you come down, I want you to send the hips in like a plank-like position, but keep that right leg bent but up and out to the right. And then take it back into your extension, right? And then from there, just step it through, and you're not gonna go quite to lunge. You're gonna take it and put the foot like halfway between where that left foot is and where the hands, so not all the way up to the hands. And then when you come through with this left leg, you're gonna work on a pistol squat, so slide the fingers back, see if you can come through. Nice. And then taking it back up, you'll get a standing split with the left leg up in the air. And then as you drive this left knee forward, you're just gonna step the left foot just a little bit forward of the right and get this tight little triangle stretch over the left leg here. And then you're gonna guide the fingertips a little bit forward. When you take the weight onto that left foot, you're gonna be in a standing split on the right side. Right leg's in the air. And then you're gonna slowly start to bend through that left leg, taking it down to your lunge. And then lastly, inhaling to find a crescent lunge. And then taking the hands back down, taking it back into extension. And get those left toes back down to meet the right. And however you meet feet to hands, jump or step. Inhale, flatten the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And release the arms. We'll take it down on the other side to the other side here. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, flatten the back. And back to your plank on an exhale. If you want that low plank, it's the same exhale. Inhale, cobra. And up over the toes for down dog. And this time, you'll take that left leg to the sky. And you'll bend the knee in the air. Open up the hip a little bit. You can even pulse that left knee to the ceiling. And then again, as you're coming down, just so you can see it, you're gonna come down, you're gonna take that left knee out to the left. And then back to your extension. And then from the extension, again, you're gonna just bring that left leg through, step the toe halfway, and then see if you can bring that right leg through. And then back into your extension, taking it into a standing split here. And then as you can bend through that left knee a little bit to guide the right foot back in front, you can round out the torso a little bit and use the core. Step that right leg just a little bit in front of the left. Tight triangle where you're draping the torso over the right leg. And then again, taking the weight on that right foot, guide the fingertips forward a bit, back into that standing split, or in this one, you can bend the foot if you want to. You can bend at the knee, try to kick the glute. You can pulse that left leg back into the air. And you can take that left leg down for crescent. So you're in your lunge, and then finally raise into the crescent lunge. And then bringing it down. Arms come down, back to the lunge, and back to your extension. And meeting that right toe to the left. And again, however you make your way, feet to hands. Inhale, flatten the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And let's release the arms all the way this time. And then standing at the top of the mat still, you're gonna inhale. Turn the palms out. You're gonna catch the left wrist in the right hand and take a step out so that maybe the feet are just hip distance, not really any further. Inhale and reach up and send the hips over to the left as the hands go over to the right. Inhale back to center, and then just switch the hands so they still face out or toward the ceiling. Now the left hand will grab onto the right wrist. Inhale to reach and take some of the bend out of the elbow, and then dip into that right hip. Right hip out to the right. Hands go to the left. Inhale back to center. And exhale, just kind of reach, let the hands come down back into a nice forward fold. And then with the feet, just kind of heel toe them back together. We'll go in, we'll add on a little bit to this flow. So back in your forward fold with the feet together. Inhale and gaze forward, flat back. And then take it back to your plank. And low plank. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, the down dog. And then from the down dog if you want to, so we're gonna take that on the right side again. Right leg extension. And when you open the hip, if you're used to or if you want to go into that flip dog, you can. Ground that right foot, float that right arm. And then come back into your extension. And we're gonna add on here, when we come forward with this bent knee, we're gonna take it back from there. And then you can try the long leg variant, but if it's too much, take it back to the bent knee on the next one. So you come forward with that leg extended all the way out. And then go back up to extension. And then again, when you're stepping through, it's just halfway. And you're gonna take it through for that pistol. And you can come all the way up there like I did. Did you see I came all the way up, my hands were all the way off the ground and I lowered back down. And then when you come through, for a moment back into that standing split, and then just take that left foot down, and here's where we exercised it in the beginning. That left foot down, you're gonna bend the knees enough to connect the space between the torso and thigh. And then think about your arms as like an extension of the torso, but they're here, fingertips are reaching down. And when you drop the hips, just kind of let them stay in position, unless you want to use the hands for balance. And just go down and up to your extent. So ideally glutes come all the way down. But the most important thing is to keep the connection here, the torso and the thigh. So it might not be all the bend out at the top. It might be somewhere here. It might not be hips all the way down at the bottom. It might be somewhere here. So your range is going to be different. But just a few of those. So let's say 3, right? And on the last one, take that left leg back up. And then as we did before, just step it through slightly and drape the torso over that left leg. And then when you come forward on that left foot, Right leg goes up, but this time again, bend the knee and pulse the knee to the ceiling. And then step back into your lunge. Nice, and then you find your crescent lunge. And this time you're gonna bend the elbow, reach the elbow to the outside of the left knee. Find a twisted lunge. There you go, nice. And then when you unwind, before you come back up, you're gonna reach the arms as far forward as possible. And then from that position, rise up a bit, come back down, and do one more of those. Rise up a little bit, come back down, then take the hands around, and then take it back into extension. And back into your down dog. And again, feet come to hands. Inhale, find your flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. And release the arms. And again, the second side. So inhale, bring it back up. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, taking it to the plank. Low plank. Inhale, cobra. Nice, and exhale up over the toes. Down dog. So now, your left leg extends. Bend the knee in the air, open up the hip, and again, if you want a flip dog, that left toe comes down, left arm floats forward. Nice, you can guide that back into extension. And then when you're coming forward, that bent leg comes out first. Forward as low to plank as possible. Back to extension. And then that left leg, if you want to try it, flex the foot first, all the way out. And back to extension. And then slowly stepping through. Foot comes halfway to the hands, all the way up and down for that pistol squat. There you go. And then back up. Right, so here, you get that right leg up and it's standing split, right? And then bringing that right leg back down. Same exercise here. Connect the torso to the thigh first, and then take a dip as far down as you can go. Bring it back up. The idea is to keep the feet grounded too. I didn't mention that part in the beginning, but feet grounded, so stay on the heels. You don't want to make the range deeper just by coming onto the toes. Down and up. And on the last one, raise that right leg again. Step it through slightly and find a nice little fold over that right leg. And send that left leg up to extension. But bend the knee there and pulse that left knee into the air. And then drop it back into lunge. Nice, and here you're gonna find that crescent lunge, inhale. And finding the twist. Left elbow over the right knee. Nice. And then remember, we'll inhale to unwind. Send the arms forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, back down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, back down. One more time. Then sweep the arms around either side of that right foot and then take it back into extension. And from this one, just take the right foot down, come high on the toes for a moment, bring the knees down, and find this Sphinx pose where you keep the legs together and you slide the elbows toward the knees. And just rest the torso on the thighs. You're getting length along the thigh, keeping the chest lifted. And go ahead and look at the hands and keep the elbows connected to the knees and see if the hands, just how far the hands can fan out. With the elbows connected to the knees, how far can the hands fan out? Nice. And then bring the hands back together. Walk the arms out. Drop the head through, just kind of like a tight closed child's pose. And then coming into a tabletop. Drive the toes down. And lift the hips up. Back into your down dog. And we'll just go high on the toes, bending a little bit through the knees, and find your way feet to hands again. Flatten the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And go ahead and release the arms back to heart center. So a little bit of balancing. How about a little bit of balancing? So centering up here a little bit, just kind of rock a little bit on the feet. Just kind of like go to the outside edges of the feet too, because you know, you're never gonna balance completely on the foot. It's always gonna be a corrective motion. So get used to the movement in the feet, and it's gonna rock side to side and maybe forward to back inside the balancing pose. So know that you have to go with the flow per se. So relax the arms for a moment. Then inhale and bring that right leg up. Nice. And then cross that right leg over. And it's okay if you stay here, but maybe you're able to hook that right toe back behind the left calf. And the arms out to a T for a moment of balance. Sweep that left arm under the right arm. Maybe the hands come back to touch. And with those right fingertips on top or above the left, you can sort of just curl the fingers down of the right hand to close over the left fingertips. And then you want to lift the elbows. Think about sending the elbows out or forward. And then when you slowly unwind, keep the arms where they are and try to extend that leg back. And then let's try to come out the same way we came in. So you'll be here and you'll grab a hold of that right knee again. And then just take it into some variant of that tree pose. So maybe you want to be here to the inside thigh, or you can take it down. And you can play with different arm variants, right? So here at heart center, or you can take it up overhead. Or you know, you can open up the arms, your open tree. And if all that's going really well, you can send the gaze up. And you can even try to close the eyes. But for a moment, think about your left foot. It's rocking side to side, right? And you're correcting with it. And you can let that release. You want to shake out that left side. That's the tired one. So coming over the top of the toe. Shake out the arms again. And then taking that left knee. So the left knee is going to come up. And here's where you want to kind of just gauge the breath. Make sure you keep inside the breath in that balancing pose. And then take that leg and wrap it over the right. Maybe you can hook that toe, but you don't have to. And take the arms out to a T. And it'll be the right arm sweeping under the left. And the left fingertips cupping over the right. Send the elbows up and send the elbows out. Meanwhile, trying to keep the shoulders down away from the ears. And when you unwind, work on taking that left leg back. Still reaching through the elbows forward. Inhale, let it come up. And bring that left leg back in. And then again, find some variant of the tree pose. Some option with the arms. Send the gaze up if that's available. And let it all go. Shaking it out. Coming over the toe for a moment. And then releasing the arms. And let's just get our warriors and then we'll come back down to the ground. So back to the top of the mat. We're just gonna step out for this one. So we're just gonna be at the top of the mat, hands to heart center. We're just gonna take the knee up and step back. So kind of like pitching a baseball. Knee up and then step back to your warrior one, right? And then let's take the arms up. And then when you open up, you're in warrior two. And then you can find a reverse warrior. And down to your extended side angle, that left elbow can go to the knee, or that left hand can go all the way down to the ground outside that left foot, outside or inside. Right arm can go straight up, it can stay on the hip, or it can go overhead. And then before we come up, just take the left arm away from the knee or the floor, keep the torso open and extend the arm long. And then rise out of that. Then take the bend out of the knee, open up the palms and turn that left toe in. So now we're just gonna fold forward in a wide leg forward fold. You might take another inhale when you place the hands, and then exhale, lead with the chest, let the crown of the head, think about driving the crown of the head toward the floor. And then what you're gonna do is just walk the hands, sweep them over to the left, get a lunge with that left leg forward. Yep, there you go. And then take the left leg into its extension. And then the left foot back down to meet the right. Again, coming high on the toes, looking, and then maybe jumping between the hands. Inhale, flatten at the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And take the arms to heart center. And then you're just gonna go on the other side. Remember our baseball pitch, you're gonna send that left knee high and just step it back for warrior one. And then open up for warrior two. Finding a reverse warrior. And then extended side angle. And then one more time, you're gonna reach that right arm forward before you send it up. And then pressing through that right glute, rise up, take the bend out of the left knee. This time, when you come down, take the hands and interlace them. So we're gonna be in this wide leg fold again. But take the hands, interlace them, drive the shoulders down as you lift the chest through, take an inhale there. And then exhale, let the arms come overhead as you go down. Inhale to rise back into that flat back, just so you can plant the hands forward and then sweep hands to lunge around that right leg. And then just take it back into extension. And then that right foot down to meet the left. And then next time we come through, we're gonna take it to the seat. So if you wanna jump all the way to the seat, you can, or you can step, or you can jump to the hands. And then take it down to the seat. And we're gonna meet here. Let's extend the legs long first. Inhale, rise up. And then exhale into that seated forward fold. Hang on there for a moment, lengthening the spine and using the arms to pull. And as you come up, think about a long torso on the way up. So reach with the arms first. Bring those arms in line with where the torso is flat, and then rise all the way up. Then sweep the arms east and west. All right. And then you're gonna cross in that left foot. Take the right one to the outside, if that's available. Yep, so the left leg comes in. Right foot goes all the way. Right foot can go to the top of the left knee or around. And you're gonna be probably hovering off that right glute. It's definitely okay. And then it's a revolving bind. So if you twist the torso over to the right, that left elbow comes to the outside of the right knee. There you go. With this left hand, you can reach to the bottom of the left foot. Right fingertips can sweep behind and stay close to the small of the back, right? So you wanna not reach that hand all the way far back, but get it as close to the tailbone, let's say, as possible, so you can keep lifting out of the torso. And yeah, you take your gaze over that right shoulder. And you can always use another inhale to find some length, and exhale to deepen the twist. And then hold in your extent, using inhales and exhales. And then when you come around to center, now this one might be challenging. Can you just pull that right leg down and stack the legs? This is a lot. It's a deep hip thing. This is called cow facing pose. This part of my legs looks like the face of a cow. And you can, from there, you can kind of just grab onto the toes, and it feels nice on the top of the feet when you sort of press the toes in. You can unwind from here, and one nice way to unwind from here is to just sort of lean back, roll onto that left hip, swing that right foot back around, and just unwind that left. And just shake it out a little bit. And for the second side, you'll get that right leg coming in. Left leg will come all the way over, and if you need to roll really far on that right hip, really float this left glute, that's totally fine. You get the placement of the foot and then see how much you can adjust. But you're gonna sweep that left hand. Left hand's gonna hold your balance somewhere, preferably as close to the base of the spine as possible. And then the right elbow coming up to the outside of the left knee as much as possible. And again, if that's happening, you can take the right hand down to the foot. Nice. Inhale for some length. Exhale to deepen the twist and look over that left shoulder. And again, when you unwind, just see how much you can pull that left leg back. Finding as much of a stack. And the idea here too is that when you're in this position, you close the gap between the inner thighs and you're able to come back to both glutes. And then again, if you want to get that nice stretch on the top of the feet, just grab onto the toes and pull down. And then again, to unwind, just lean back, slowly swing that left leg through, and then release the right to straight, and then straighten both legs and shake it out a little bit. And then let's just come into butterfly here, where we hold onto the toes and lift tall in that butterfly. And as you lift through, try to see if you can drive the knees down a little bit more, but then a little bit more relaxed, but with momentum, just flutter them lightly. And then just slide them out. Just keep sliding the feet out, or you can shimmy the hips back. The idea is to get as wide with the legs as possible while still keeping the elbows. If you look down, the elbows can stay in front of the shins. So I like to scoot the butt back and see how far I can go back. Bottoms of the feet are together and the elbows can stay in front of the shins. And then getting a little from there, just sweep the hands back, roll the shoulders back, and send the gaze back. Drop the neck. And then just bring it back to center. Reset so that you drive the glutes toward the heels. We're gonna rock back down. So grab onto the knees, round out the spine here, and just rock gently with a round in the spine until you come to stillness and you can flatten out the back and rest the hips and rest the shoulders. And then for a moment, because it's a different position to the hips, for a moment, take that butterfly again. Bottoms of the feet together, knees splay out, and you can take the hands to the inside thigh. And I'm gonna let y'all rest there. And if you want that to be your Shavasana, by all means, but if you wanna extend the legs out and extend the arms out east and west or down along the sides, you can create your Shavasana that way if you'd like. I'm going to unmute all of you. I think some of you have muted yourselves. It's okay. So I just want to say, there's another class starting at 7:15, but just want to say thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of the week, and take a look at the calendar and see all the great teachers coming up through tomorrow and through the weekend. And the light in me recognizes and bows to the light in you. Namaste, yogis.
Namaste, and thank you for solving.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining.
Wonderful class. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye for now. Bye. Think your dog is cute. He waited until the very end. He was a good boy.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Meredith. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Oh, Ben.
Thank you. Well, you can't relax in Shavasana then. Bye-bye.